So Mike, can you describe the ways that PRX has made a difference in your athletes?
Yeah, I mean, for my athletes, it's been really a kind of quick grasp of how their body moves and how their body works, and then their ability to really change things quickly. One of the things that I find with especially my high-level athletes is that they're always looking for tiny fixes and fixing things as quickly as they possibly can, and showing them how a tiny little something like maybe your ankle not functioning quite right changes dramatically the rest of their overall performance. So it's been pretty dramatic for them.
Why do you think PRX is an essential component of your training?
Well, because quite frankly, if you haven't taken the time to make sure that your brain is working first, then it's almost senseless to even think about training a muscle. I mean, first and foremost, what PRX does is it allows my athlete to be able to make sure that their brain understands the job that it has to do first. And if their brain gets it, then they can actually move the limb or run faster or jump higher or whatever it is that I'm asking them to do during that training session. But if their brain doesn't get it, then there's almost no way that I can go on thinking that I'm going to train the muscle unless I'm just going to be programming poorly for the brain. So it kind of goes without saying how important it is.
As an active guy, somebody who does martial arts and likes to run, sprint, how has PRX helped or been useful in your own body?
Oh, listen, unbelievable story. No one's going to believe this. Jeremy, who I know personally, a good friend of mine and also a physical therapist, I had a problem, believe it or not. Nobody wants to hear probably about old coaches and old injuries, but I had a problem with my back, and for some reason it was locked up. I couldn't move. I thought that I was thinking maybe disc pathology, perhaps I had subluxed or was just really in poor alignment. And believe it or not, my very first experience with PRX was Jeremy on the phone describing an exercise for me to do, and within 5 minutes of doing said exercise, I was able to move again and run around, where my back had me locked up and completely and totally debilitated. So that's kind of my first experience with it, but it's a necessity in all the training that I do, because it's so important. Anybody who's got a body, who's trying to do anything active, myself, my athletes' parents, my athletes' grandparents, if you have a body and you haven't taken the time to figure out how it is that your brain functions and how important that is to the rest of the body, well, then you're making a huge mistake. And the only system that I've seen that does that is Primal Rekinetix.
How would you compare it to traditional methods of flexibility and performance training?
Well, again, this is it's a perfect example, and what a great question. When I'm looking at the body, we spend a lot of time treating the body like it's a lump of dough or clay, and let's mold it, let's shape it, let's twist it, and let's move it this way and turn it that way. And then if I can get it to fire like this by stretching it out or pulling it over here, the thing that you lose sight of, and I feel like I've said this a few times now, but it's if your brain doesn't know how to do it, no matter how well I twist it and turn it and shape it out here, it's not going to be able to fire it and make it move properly. So there are times when you do need some of that structural work, or you need to be able to physically put it in that position, but the brain also has to understand how to do that. And if it can't do that, you're missing, in my opinion, humbly I would submit, what's the most integral piece in terms of your training and your performance, and that's working on the area that controls everything, and that's right up here.
We've had several athletes and several coaches describe PRX as a game changer. Would you describe PRX as a game changer?
I don't even know if that's strong enough. I know it's funny for me to say that, because when you hear someone use words like game changer, and they sit there and they say to you, you don't understand, this is revolutionary, this changes this changes that, but it really does. We spend most of our time trying to get the tail to wag the dog in terms of what we do performance-wise, but realistically, it should be the dog that knows how to wag its tail. And so from nothing more but just being able to implement, even if you're not using the concept at a very high level yet, even if all you're doing is making sure that your athletes run through, say, 5 or 10 minutes in the beginning, you're not even going through the full thing, they're going to literally have a better performance session. They're going to literally go out and move better right then at that exact moment. And that's second to none. I haven't seen anything else where you can say, I guarantee you that if you did 5 to 10 minutes of this before you went and did whatever it was you were going to do, you were going to perform better. I mean, that sounds like you gave them some sort of pharmaceutical enhancement, or that you gave them something that was really crazy and that should be illegal. But instead, it's like, here you go over here, you get your brain functioning properly for just 5 or 10 minutes, and then you can go out and you're going to be a better athlete right now today. And that's pretty much as other people said, a game changer or revolutionary. Like I said, I don't know if it's strong enough.
Well, Mike, thank you very much for your time today. Really appreciate what you had to say about PRX. And if you're ever down in South Florida and you need a expert performance coach, look up Mike Coffey, Assistant Sports Director at Velocity Sports Naples. Thanks a lot, Mike.